welcome to attract a high-quality partner who wants to commit and feel fabulously feminine along the way. This is how you enjoy more abundance, enchantment, and creativity in your life. And who doesn't want that, right? So why focus on our feminine energy now? Well, the divine feminine is rising, and the way that we've been manifesting in our society is not working. It's impacting our health, our environment, our relationships. In fact, a lot of relationships are even harder now than they used to be. So the percentage of single people has actually increased over the last few years. And despite 50 million people being on the apps, only 20% of relationships actually start online. So clearly there has to be a better way because our divorce rates are still at 50%. That's a lot of heartbreak. I don't want that for you or for any other woman or man on this planet. I want us to find a way to attract a high-quality partner, and that's exactly what I'm passionate about. Attracting a high-quality partner who's ready for commitment, and then unlocking the rest of your life with abundance and creativity and so much more fun. So why can't you have this? Why can't you be the percentage of women who are getting into a great relationship without working so hard or without losing themselves? The women who are getting into a great relationship, the small group of women who are having what they want in love, finding a great partner and making it last, they're no different than you are. However, they've chosen to get help on this part of their life. They've chosen to do things differently versus reenact old patterns and date the same sort of person or reenact their family's trauma. And they know what I'm about to teach you, which is all about being in your feminine energy and understanding the patterns of attraction, plus how to manifest in a way that's feminine. So this is me. I'm Violet Lange, and this is my story. You know, I was living in New York City, feeling burnt out, a hot mess, single. I had just gone through a divorce. I was working 16 hours a day in my job in a management consulting role on private equity cases, and I was miserable. You know, on the outside, I might have looked happy. I had this glamorous lifestyle. But on the inside, it really wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't getting what I wanted, and I kept getting ghosted and breadcrumbed and all of the things that you've probably been through if you're listening to this. So now I am living a life that is so full of passion, so deliciously abundant. My career totally skyrocketed, and I'm happily married to the man of my dreams, and we're creating a family. This picture is of me just a little while ago, about 7.5 months pregnant or so. And now I have my MBA from Harvard, so it's not like I'm not smart. You know, I'm a smart person, and it still took me a very long time to figure all of this out that I'm about to teach you. I spent a decade between getting divorced and finding my partner and being miserable single and just not feeling good about myself, pushing harder but not getting the results that I wanted and feeling totally burnt out. So this is not about being smarter, and this is not about working harder. This is about using a different way, a different energy, a different mindset, and a different approach so you can have the abundance and the love and the enchantment that you want and so much faster. So like I said, I have my MBA from Harvard, I have my training from Coach Training Alliance, and I'm also a yoga teacher and a Reiki master. So I bring a lot of different tools to the table when I work with a woman on femininity and on love. And because of that, I've helped hundreds of successful and spiritual women date like a queen, attract their king, and feel fabulously feminine along the way. And I've trained thousands of women on what I'm about to teach you now. So first I have a question. There's got to be something that you're sick of in your life, right? What we have in our life is what we tolerate. So there's something that you're tolerating that is no longer serving you. Are you burnt out by the apps? Have you been ghosted? Have you been breadcrumbed or basically like strung along by someone only to have him eventually stop contacting you? Are you sick of attracting men who just want someone who's going to listen to them or make them feel better, but then either you're not attracted to them because they're way too in their feminine energy, or they're not actually ready for commitment? Maybe they say they want a relationship, but they never actually make that happen. They always drag their feet on commitment. Or maybe you're finding that you're getting passed over for dates or relationships. You watch your friends go on a bunch of dates and you're wondering, well, how come I have such a hard time getting a date? Or maybe you watch your friends getting into great relationships and you're wondering, how come I struggle so much with commitment? What's wrong with me? You know, most women get stuck in this trap of either feeling like they're not enough to attract a great partner or that they're too much to actually keep a great partner. Can you relate? And then oftentimes we've suffered through heartbreak and we have fear of putting ourselves out there again. So maybe you've gone through a divorce or a breakup. How long has that been? How many years have you been single? And maybe it's only been 6 months, but you're ready to learn the right way to attract a high quality partner so you don't have to make the same mistakes. Or maybe you've been divorced for many years and you keep telling yourself that you're going to get out there again. But the last time you did an app and you attracted people who were scammers, and now you're just feeling stuck and not moving forward. I don't want that for you. And I also don't want you to feel trapped by this idea that you're intimidating. So many successful, powerful women hear from their friends or from men, oh, you're so intimidating. But what do you do with that? It's not like you want to just stop, being powerful in the world. However, you need to balance out your power in your career with your power in your personal life and do so in a way that's feminine. So if you want to create a life of abundance and enchantment and feminine flow with a high quality partner, I imagine you do, that's why you're here. Don't you want to know what makes a high quality partner attracted to you? What is this pattern of attraction? And don't you want to attract someone who's actually ready for love and who's totally willing to do the work with you so that it lasts? And don't you want to get in touch with your femininity versus feeling like you're walking around in your masculine all the time, probably pushing away the right sort of people? And of course, I imagine you want to discover the next level or version of yourself. There's another version of yourself that's waiting for you to claim her. There's another version of yourself that's so much more free and expressed and sensual and passionate and loving and nurturing and receptive. And all of these things are possible when you move to this next version of yourself. And that really takes integrating our masculine and feminine energy. So look, we all have masculine and feminine, regardless of our gender, regardless of our sexual orientation or our preferences. We all have masculine and feminine, and we need now, more than ever, to be able to harness both. But my guess is that you probably are already pretty in touch with your masculine energy. And so what you need is to cultivate your feminine energy and then find pathways to balance and integrate the two of those fluidly throughout your life. So once you feel fabulously feminine, all of this is possible. You can manifest in any area of your life, creatively, abundantly, with a partner, in your dress, in the way that you look, in the way that you move, and in your mannerisms, and your career and where you live. I've had women that I've worked with that have moved across the country, or one woman even took a job in Africa because she was feeling inspired and in a different place, in her life and in her energy. So once you have this blueprint, you'll also know how to attract a great guy. And I want you to be able to bring him to Thanksgiving or to your holiday parties, or, be able to cozy up on the fire or near the fireplace on the couch. And this also means that you'll be able to tap into your inherent, deep, embodied feminine energy anytime and anywhere, versus feeling, oh yeah, I have to remember that. It won't be something that you have to remember. It'll already be embodied. It'll be natural for you to tap into it whenever you want. And then you'll also enjoy more trust and confidence and feel a lot more certain about your skill set when it comes to love. And lastly, you'll have way more abundance. I'm going to tell you later in this training about all the magnificent, surprising, incredible ways that women I've worked with have gotten thousands and thousands of dollars without doing it the old way, without doing it the masculine way of pushing harder or putting your head down. And this will really enable you to step into your creative gifts so you can have so much more joy and fun in your life. So let's break this down. Why do we attract the partners that we do even when we should know better? So if you think about your past relationships right now, there's probably been a few types. Even if you don't have a type physically, most of us have our catnip. It's our energetic type that we fall for or that we get easily attracted to against our better judgment. But that catnip, that type of partner that we fall for, that can happen because of a few different things that I'm going to explain to you now. Now, sometimes we toggle back and forth between someone who's like our catnip and someone who is safe and boring and maybe not anything like our catnip. So if you're thinking, no, I don't attract unhealthy partners, I would guess that even if you're not attracting unhealthy partners, you're probably attracting partners who can't quite match you. You're attracting partners where you're kind of dating down or not being with someone who has the same level of success or purpose or passion for life that you do. So the number one reason why we attract the wrong partner is that we focus on the wrong type of chemistry. Now there's many different layers and levels to chemistry, and most women will focus on either the emotional or the physical instead of also incorporating the spiritual and the intellectual, and the compatibility piece of this is someone having the same values as you have. So if you're finding yourself getting sucked into something because your body is saying yes or your heart is saying yes, but you don't have the skills and tools to integrate your head, your heart, and your body, then you're going to keep picking the wrong partner. Now, the second reason that we attract the partner we do is that we forget our needs. We put all of our attention on the other person's needs, and we forget about our needs or how our needs have changed in this chapter of our life. If you want to have a baby and settle down, you're in a different chapter of your life than if you're 22. And if you're an empty nester, then you're also in a very different life chapter than you were when you were in your 30s. I've worked with women from age 21 to 73. So you can absolutely get your needs met, but you have to understand your needs and where you're at in your life right now. Now, the third reason that we attract the partners we do that may not be the right partner for us, probably are not the right partner for us, is that we forget about our past relationships, or like I said, we go from safe to romantic and safe to romantic, and each partner is maybe a little different, but it's still, bifurcated. It's still black and white. Either there's passion, but it's not healthy, or there's no passion, but it's safe, and eventually you or the partner leave. So the fourth mistake that we make is assuming that it's all about the law of attraction. We will attract partners we do because we think, oh, like attracts like, so I'm going to attract a partner who's just like me. But the truth is that we also have the law of polarity, which says that opposites attract. Both of these laws are affecting our relationships, and it's important that you understand that and that you don't get trapped in either of those. Now, so many times I see women who confuse the familiar with the safe. They think someone is safe just because they're familiar, but that's not actually true. They might be familiar and therefore feel safe to you, but they could be a product of your upbringing and unhealthy attachment styles or early development influences. If you grew up with a parent who is really aloof and out of touch, you may have developed an anxious attachment style. Or if you grew up with a parent who was overbearing, you may have developed an avoidant attachment style, and you may be picking partners who have the opposite style as you. Now, the other reason that we attract a partner, even when we should attract someone better, is that oftentimes we try to do this part of our life alone. We don't get support from an expert. We might read a few books or a few blogs, or we might ask our girlfriends, but they don't know any more than we do about what makes a healthy relationship. So this, and combined with all the other factors, make us attract someone who may not be the right fit. And what's worse than being single is attracting someone who's not the right partner for you and having to go through all of that heartbreak. So what makes a high quality partner attracted to you? This is something that a lot of women don't understand. And to me, it's very clear, but it's simple, but not necessarily easy. So because of the law of polarity that says opposites attract, a high quality man is going to be attracted to a woman in her feminine. This doesn't mean that you have to be in your feminine all the time, but you have to be able to be in your feminine when you're with him. And you have to be able to be in your feminine, whether you're online or out in the wild, so that he can be attracted to you and actually see you. If you're in your masculine, he is not going to notice you. Now, a high quality man is also attracted to a woman who is embodied. And I'm going to tell you more about this later, what that means, but it's a key part of this. A high quality man is also looking for a woman who wants full partnership, not just a woman who's looking for a friendship. If you're thinking, oh, I just want someone to kind of fit into my life and do the things with me that I like to do and, hang out on the couch or cook dinner together, then that's like a pet or a girlfriend. That is not necessarily a partner. So a high quality man is looking for a woman who knows that she wants to find her king and who wants this part of her life to be just as good as the other parts of her life. He doesn't want to be with a woman who's just looking to settle or who has low standards or who just wants someone to hold hands with. There's so many other aspects of relationship that the masculine finds really important. Physical intimacy, even if you don't have sex until marriage or at any point, that level of physical touch and connection is very important, and a sense of adventure and growth. Now, the last thing that makes a high quality man attracted to a woman is trust with challenge. So you need to be able to trust a partner, but not let him get away with stuff. So you're not competing with him or putting him down or emasculating him, but you're also not afraid to challenge him. So you might be asking, well, why do I have to be in my feminine? Why does that make such a difference? Let me tell you about the 3 stages of feminine development. When we're in our feminine energy, we are on a path to becoming more healthy in our feminine, but we have to do so in a way that takes guidance and takes practice. So if you're watching this, most likely you're in stage 1 or stage 2 of your feminine energy. Stage 1 is unconscious feminine. It's manipulative, it's deceitful, it's catty, it's emotional, it's unconscious, and it's a sense of I will do whatever I need to do in order to get what I want. Now, stage 2 feminine says, oh, that doesn't feel good, or maybe my family has shamed that unhealthy, unconscious feminine, and so I'm going to become more masculine. I'm going to put my emotions to the side. I'm going to put my needs to the side. I'm going to serve other people. I'm going to be focused. I'm going to get, my career in place. That's not necessarily wrong, but it's not also necessarily going to lead us to healthy love. Now, the third stage of feminine is healthy and evolved and dynamic, and this is inclusive of the other 2 stages. So it doesn't mean you give up your healthy masculine, but you also can incorporate healthy feminine and evolved feminine with your healthy masculine. And you still incorporate some of this, in quotations, unconscious feminine. You still have your emotions, you still have your passions, you still have your needs, you still have your desires. All of that is included, but we do it in a way that's absolutely passionate and powerful and more effective for the love that we want to give the world and the love we want to receive in the world. Now, your stage of feminine development will absolutely influence the type of relationship you have, how long it lasts, and who you attract. So if you attract men who tend to be in their stage 1 masculine, they're going to be kind of bullies, narcissists, not conscious, taking advantage of others, aggressive in their more primal unconscious masculine. If you're a stage 2 feminine, you're going to attract men who are not quite ready for a relationship, but they're nice to talk to. Men who respect you, men who seem to have good emotional intelligence, men who are great listeners, but they're going to be missing that masculine element. So you might not feel physical attraction, or it might start off okay, and then over time you feel like you become their mother and the relationship falls apart. Now, it also affects the type of relationship that you have, because stage 1 relationships are codependent. Stage 2 relationships are independent. You're a boss babe doing your own stuff. Your guy is doing whatever he does. He's probably not as successful as you, or maybe he is, but he's still kind of whiny in some ways. He's adopted too much of his feminine. And if you're stage 3, you'll be creating an interdependent relationship where both partners are growing and both partners are loving each other, but not at the expense of not loving themselves. And then the length of time that a relationship lasts, if you're in a codependent relationship, it could last forever. It could last your whole life. But if it's not healthy, if you're being bullied or manipulated or vice versa, then who cares how long it lasts if it's an unhealthy relationship? Now, an independent relationship, it won't last that long. It might last 5-10 years, and then eventually one of the partners gets frustrated and cheats because there's no attraction anymore. But an interdependent relationship can really stand the test of time. And we spend so much energy in our relationships. Don't you want something that's going to last for the rest of your life without having to give up your own dreams and goals and desires, but without having to give up your emotional needs too? So here's what makes a relationship go the distance. This is what people are looking for when they're wanting to commit. A man will want to commit to a woman when she's in her healthy stage 3 feminine. He may still want to commit to her if she's in a stage 2 feminine and he's in a stage 2 of his masculine, but he'll be committing to her from a place of feeling like she's more powerful than him, or feeling like he needs a mother or a therapist. And in stage 1, feminine and masculine, there might also be commitment, but it's about control and it's about dependency. Now, the second thing that makes a relationship become committed is when a woman feels comfortable with her emotions, her shadow, and her sexuality. Most stage 2 women have lost touch with their feminine energy, with their sexuality, with their emotions, and what we call the shadow. So the shadow is the unintegrated, unconscious part of ourself. And it's a deep, deep reservoir of growth and passion and mystery and exploration. And it's part of our stage 1 feminine that we have to reclaim and reintegrate when we become a stage 3 woman. The third thing that a man is looking for when he becomes committed is that a woman can hold masculine space in her life without eliminating her feminine. So this means that she can fluidly go from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 and back down through those stages again as the moment requires. That when she gets into her masculine mode at work, she doesn't eliminate her feminine or come home, totally in her masculine. Or when she's really in her feminine and her level 1 feminine, it doesn't overwhelm her or overpower her so much that she needs him to feel better about herself. The last thing that makes a relationship really go the distance is when you have something to offer that makes his life better or easier or clearer. I cannot stress this enough. If you are not bringing anything to the table, I'm not talking about physical intimacy, although that can be part of it too. That's still an important part of relationship. But if you're not bringing anything to the table that improves his life, why would he want to spend the rest of his life with you? It has to totally make sense to him emotionally, intellectually, and physically for you to be in his life, and vice versa. Now you may be saying, well, what if I'm wanting commitment, but it hasn't happened? How long do I stay with someone who just wants a casual relationship with me? Like, I really love him, but it's not getting to marriage, or it's not getting to engagement, or it's not even getting to boyfriend, girlfriend. We've been dating casually for 2 years, or we've been on again, off again for 2 years, or friends with benefits for a long time. You don't create commitment through threat or ultimatums. That will never work. That's a stage 1 tactic, and it will backfire. And it's also not about stage 2, which is walking away because the grass is greener. Like, oh, it's okay. I don't need you. I'll find someone better. Like, see ya. Threats and ultimatums are stage 1. Just walking away because you think the grass is greener is stage 2. And the main way that you have a relationship last and get to commitment, and if it's not going to be this partner, with someone even better, is by doing your work on your feminine energy with actual practices and a mentor. So feminine energy is not just about throwing on lipstick and then all of a sudden you're feminine. It's something that has to come from within, and you have to be guided through it, through someone who's been through this journey herself. You also need to ask yourself, have I really worked on my relationship skill set, solo and with my partner? So if you haven't done the work on your relationship skill set, on your attachment style, to integrate your head, your heart, and your body, and to better understand your communication patterns and your triggers, then it's not really fair to say, oh, it's all his fault, or he's not committing. He's not committing because you're not committed enough to yourself to do the work you need to do on yourself. So the way that you do this work on yourself is by becoming fabulously feminine, by really tapping into your healthy stage 3 feminine energy and getting the support you need to make that happen. So when we tap into our healthy stage 3 feminine, we attract healthy, committed masculine. It's just that simple. When we're committed to being healthy in our feminine, we'll attract a man who's committed to being healthy in his masculine and who wants partnership. So here are the 3 steps. The first thing you have to do is learn how to receive. Receiving is step 1. But your receiving can't just be, oh, I'm just open to whatever happens. You have to have a powerful vision that's not just based on companionship. It's based on the impact you want to make on the world and the sort of experiences you want to have, the love that you want to flow through your life and through your body and through your family if you want one or if you have one. Now, the second step is to release. So we need to open to receive. Most women are not very good at receiving. We focus on others and we overgive. But then we need to release the things that are preventing us from receiving what we want. Old beliefs, old habits, our triggers, and our toxic feminine and masculine. There's a lot of talk these days about the toxic masculine, but there's also toxic feminine, and we have to give voice to that so that it doesn't corrupt or sabotage ourselves or our partnerships or potential partnerships. And the third step is to create and embody your 3rd stage healthy feminine. This isn't about doing, this is about becoming. That's why it's an iterative process, and that's why it's a creative process. The masculine says, here's my goal, and then here's my 10 steps to get there. The feminine says, here's who I want to become, here's what I want in my life, here's the woman that I know that I've always wanted to be, and the partnership and the life that I'm craving. And then she creates it by changing her energy and changing herself. So this process is the secret sauce, not only to attracting a high quality man who wants to commit, but also to getting greater abundance. I have a client who just got a $6,000 check totally by surprise in the mail. Don't you want that? Wouldn't it be nice to get a $6,000 check just because she got in touch with her feminine energy and her sensuality? I have another client who's made the biggest sale that she's had in 18 years, and that was just within the first week of starting to work with me. And yet another client who was contacted for a job with much, much higher pay. None of these women set a goal to make more money or to work, by working harder. They simply tapped into their feminine energy using my 3-step process. But this also works for enchantment, for romance, for seduction, for attracting the right partner to us. I have women who tell me that all of a sudden they're getting checked out in a healthy and respectful way by men everywhere that they go, that they're feeling so much more sexy, so much more confident, and so much more receptive. And one of my clients mentions here, that she started dating a great guy after just 4 weeks of working together. Most of my clients, over 80% of my clients, meet an amazing partner within a few months of starting to work with me because they shift so much from the inside out with their feminine energy, with their integration of their head, their heart, and their body, and with their beliefs and their mindset. The other benefit, the other, secret sauce is our creativity. I have women that I've worked with who never had an intention of being creative that are now published authors and writing and singing songs and actually making films. So what if you could unlock your creative gifts just by tapping more into your feminine energy? It's pretty powerful. I even have clients who've started nonprofits and are changing the world and making a big difference with their lives. And clients who've been wanting to find a publisher for years, and then all of a sudden it happens in a few months because of the skills and because of the process that I'm teaching you now. So that process, just to remind you, is pretty simple, but it's not easy. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it, right? It's about receiving your vision, releasing your blocks, and creating your future. So here's how it works. That process is built on the foundation of the 13 key aspects of the feminine. 13 is thought to be a number associated with the goddess. We have 13 moon cycles in a year, and it's a key number for all of these different facets. Now, the feminine is wild and is multifaceted, and so of course there's maybe even more facets of this. But after working with thousands of women and closely mentoring hundreds of them, and plus through my own personal journey where I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on therapists and retreats and healers and books and coaching and all different sorts of aspects and workshops and everything. This is what I found in my own experience with my clients and with what I've seen out there that are the most important for our feminine. So the first category is about vision plus flow. We need to have a powerful vision for our life and for our partnership, but also be able to surrender and be in flow and trust the serendipity of our lives. We need to have devotion. So much of us are focused on our to-do list instead of what are we devoted to? Less discipline and more devotion, plus pleasure. We can't be so devoted to others or even so devoted to our projects that we forget about feeling good. Now, this is sensual pleasure, but it's so much bigger than that. It's about understanding your own map to pleasure, about what feels good in your life so that you can speak that truth to someone that you're dating or getting to know instead of just settling for whatever you can get. The third bucket is about emotion and longing and receptivity. Emotions are our superpower. Emotions are so important. They give feedback to the masculine into our lives and they put us into motion. Energy plus motion is emotion. And longing is something you may not be familiar with. You may be thinking, well, if there's something I want, I just make it happen. But I challenge you to think about the things in your life that you want or maybe have wanted for a long time that haven't happened yet. Maybe it's owning your own house. Maybe it's being in a long-term committed partnership. Maybe it's having a baby. Maybe it's starting your own company. There's probably a longing on your heart that you haven't made happen because you've been so focused on meeting your own needs and being independent and being a stage 2 feminine instead of opening to be a stage 3 feminine, which also relates to receptivity. We can't be in our healthy feminine if we're not receptive. We can't just be in our head or be in our agenda and expect a powerful partner and a high quality person to be attracted to us. Now, the next category is embodiment. Embodiment is so important. It's also one of the most important parts of being feminine. The feminine is considered the earth, abundance, nature, connection to the body. The masculine is traditionally thought of as spirit or consciousness. So the feminine itself is body, is embodiment. But many women are disconnected from their bodies because they're afraid to be in their bodies. They've either had trauma or they've been rewarded by being more in their head and being complacent or just, part of the patriarchy. We get into our bodies in many different ways that I teach my clients, but one important way is to come into our 5 senses. For a lot of spiritual practices, they'll say, desire is the root of all suffering. Well, that's crap. It's not necessarily crap, but it's only true in a limited sense. We can't just eliminate all desires and think that that will somehow solve our world's problems or solve our life's problems. We have to be attuned to ourselves and the environment through our 5 senses, and we have to be able to embrace healthy sexuality. Gone are the days where we can just forget about our sexuality. We've seen how that has come out in really gnarly ways in society and the impact of suppressing our sexuality. Now, again, you can be in your sexual energy without actually having to be sexual. So you don't have to be sexual in the way that the media portrays. You can still really honor your values and your own integrity and alignment, but you can't forget about this part of your life. And then the last bucket is all about creativity and adornment and play. So creating something from nothing. As women, we're inherently good at that. We create just by receiving and create very intuitively, but we've forgotten about that skill set because we've been putting all of our energy into following systems and processes, and that's just not working. And then adornment is so much more than how you look, but that's a piece of it too. How you adorn yourself and your spaces and the moment. Your laughter can adorn a moment. The way that you move can adorn the moment. And are you being playful? Are you inviting a potential partner to be playful with you? Or are you responding to all of your life situations out of fear and control? So this is the foundation of the process. And this is how we bring the 3-step process of receiving, releasing, and creating to life. But here are the 4 big roadblocks that I see all the time. The first mistake is staying stuck in your head without actually doing anything. Everything that we've been talking about today is information, but information is masculine. Unless you do something with that information, it's not going to change anything in your life. As I discussed, men really want embodied women. And if you want more abundance, if you want $6,000 checks in the mail coming by surprise, that happens when you're connected to your body and your femininity and the sensual aspects of your life. The second mistake that I see women make all the time is trying on feminine energy without it being authentic. So watching a video and then trying to replicate what the woman is doing in that video. Or, like I said, putting on lipstick and saying, okay, well now I'm feminine. But this is much more of a practice to cultivate. It's not just something to copy or to emulate. You have to feel it authentically in your own body, which is why it's so important to have actual feminine practices that you're working on and that you're enjoying and that you're experiencing on a regular basis from someone who knows and who's gone through this, and someone who knows how to actually embody the feminine, not just talk about the feminine. And that's something that I can't obviously do in a presentation, but that I do in a lot of depth with my clients. So this fake feminine where you're just, trying something on and feeling like you're feminine is a total turnoff to healthy men. They want real feminine, and that means being messy and raw and real and vulnerable and able to fluidly go from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 and back to stage 2 and stage 1, depending on the moment and depending on what is called for. Now, the third mistake that I find is that women will try to do this alone, without a mentor and without a tribe, and that actually puts them more into their masculine. Feminine energy increases through community and connection. Masculine energy increases through challenge and emptiness and achievement. So if you're trying to become more feminine without other women that are doing it alongside you and without a mentor, you're actually going to be putting yourself more into your masculine. Now, the fourth mistake is failing to integrate. We can't just be in our feminine. We get lost in our feminine. We need to have both our feminine and our masculine energy. And if we don't, then we're going to attract imbalanced partners. And the goal is to attract a partner who is balanced within their masculine and feminine, who can hold space for us and really be in their masculine when we're having a hard day, but who has a sensitivity and a connection to his heart so that we don't feel like we're getting bullied and controlled all the time. Now, you won't be able to reach a healthy stage 3 feminine or a committed, powerful partnership unless you learn to integrate your masculine and your feminine. So the bottom line is that we've just talked a lot about femininity, our patterns of attraction, and abundance, enchantment, and creativity. But, there's been just a taste of this that we've gone through, of the receiving, releasing, creating, and the 13 aspects of femininity. So you have a choice. You can either let these notes and let this presentation just kind of gather dust and continue to make some of those 4 common mistakes that I shared earlier, which I don't want for you to keep self-sabotaging or getting in your own way. Or you can decide to become fabulously feminine and become one of the women who wins in life and in love. So here's how I can help. I've created a simple, effective program for embodying your feminine energy and becoming a stage 3 woman. This is the type of woman who attracts a high-quality man and creates lasting love, who has abundance and turns everything she touches to gold, who totally enchants the world with her beauty and her mystery and her seduction, and who births incredible projects that heal and inspire. We're talking about women who really change the course of history for themselves, for their family lineage, and for the broader world. So my program, Fabulously Feminine, is a go-at-your-own-pace treasure trove of feminine practices and insights that follows the 3-step process of receive, release, create, and the 13 facets of feminine energy. I have videos and audios, special practices, playbooks, community, and support to help you so that your feminine becomes embodied and something that you've cultivated, not just something that you're trying on or doing alone. Now, you can totally attract a high-quality partner, greater abundance, and more when you build a foundation of your feminine superpower, when you learn how to advance through the 3 stages of femininity, when you receive your vision, release your blocks, and create your future, when you embody your feminine energy in a way that's authentic, when you develop the right beliefs and mindset instead of getting in your own way or self-sabotaging or getting stuck in doubt, and also when you explore different feminine archetypes and have the opportunity to create your own avatar. And this also means enjoying the divine feminine and understanding what's divine feminine and what's unhealthy feminine through devotional practices. This also means learning to transmute and alchemize your emotions so that they don't take over you, so that you can navigate through your emotions for greater power and bliss. You're going to learn how to adorn your body, your space, and your life, which is so much fun, and also how to integrate your masculine and feminine energy so all of this becomes sustainable. But here's the catch. I'm really picky about who I work with. In fact, in the past, I always required a phone call to bring anyone into my tribe. But I'm willing to work with women like you who are watching this now because I'm ready to serve women who are ready and decisive and coachable and committed, and you might be that woman. But if not, you're going to drag down the energy of the group, and I don't want that. I have a very high standard for the women that I work with and that come into our group so that they're supportive and uplifting and inspiring. So if you are ready, then I have some deliciously fun surprises for you, right? Let's get excited. So when you act now, you will get over $10,000 in exclusive bonuses. This is only if you sign up now. These bonuses are so rich and so juicy, and I can't believe that we're doing so much of them, but I'm also really excited to be generous so that you have a pathway and have so many tips and tools at your fingertips. So if you register now, you will get your Fabulously Feminine guide. You'll get 2 tickets to our live event that's happening this spring. You'll have a masculine insight and energy video series, which is so helpful. It's about 15 hours of truth from men about what they're looking for in partners. And you'll also have a monthly live video Q&A with me every month ongoing. Even after, you've gone through all the tools, I'm going to be adding new tools and I'm going to be adding new practices, and it's just going to get richer and richer and bigger. But you've got to get in on the ground floor now in order to have the Q&A with me every single month. And of course, you're going to have access to our private Fabulously Feminine Facebook group, which is totally priceless. So just go right now to violetlange.com/FF. That's how you sign up. That's how you get these $10,000 worth of bonuses. And that is how you get everything you want in life and love. Attracting a high quality partner, making more money without having to work so hard, and unleashing your creative gifts. So go to violetlange.com/FF and become a stage 3 woman. You can stay stuck in stage 2 if you want, attracting more feminine partners who aren't ready for a relationship or just want a mom. You can stay stuck in your stage 1 feminine, attracting narcissists and attracting men who just want to take advantage of you. You can stay stuck in your stage 2 feminine, not making as much money as you deserve because you're just working harder instead of working in a way that's incorporating your feminine. Or you can become a stage 3 woman and be like the women that I've worked with and get not only what you want in love, but also get so much more abundance and have so much more fun along the way. So go to violetlange.com/FF and sign up right now.